Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another Simple Mods video. I've had this idea for quite some time to build a full-time game streaming PC that's tucked away in a closet or a cabinet. It's on 24/7, has a bunch of games installed that I can tap into it whenever I want and stream to my various handhelds. It works excellent with good home Wi-Fi, but it even works outside of the home on a stable Wi-Fi connection somewhere else, or even on a good 4G or 5G mobile connection. And while you're watching me build a streaming PC, I'll tell you more about the idea with it. As you may have seen from my most recent video with the GPD Win 4, I absolutely love playing games on these handhelds and actually have a small selection of them that all work very well with game streaming. Most of the time I find myself at home playing on these handhelds as I do work from home full time. I'm always busy doing something. I just love the handheld form factor to just pick up and play whenever I want to, and then leave it and come back to it later while I work or do other things. And while I did set up a whole bunch of 65-watt chargers around the house to keep these handhelds, plugged in and charged with long 3-meter Type-C cables all around the house, I later realized that with game streaming on home Wi-Fi, the input latency is near non-existent, at least not anything that I notice, and you can pretty much max out your game settings, depending on your desktop graphics cards, of course, and play them at a much higher resolution that most of these handhelds support natively, and in turn you get 2 to 3 times battery life out of these devices. And that's the main reason for me. If I game stream to the Steam Deck, for example, it runs well over 5 to 6 hours playing the latest AAA games, all maxed out. I haven't actually timed it, but I never need to plug it in as it usually lasts just all day when I just game stream to it. So here I am building a mini ITX PC with a small monitor attached to the front panel that I'm putting inside a cabinet in our sunroom, which is at the back of the house, and the PC can just stay on 24/7 there without having to hear it hum or hear any fan noise while playing games. Monitor is just the cheapest 1080p monitor I could find on Amazon at the time to match the front panel size of the NR200P. And the reason I have it is just for troubleshooting the PC if I ever need to, and to set up Windows and all my games with these and just things like that. I went with the Cooler Master NR200P Max as the case. This comes with an 850 watt SFX power supply and an all-in-one 280mm cooler, all pre-installed in the case. They're all cable managed for you and ready to go, which makes it an extremely easy and fast case to build into. And it only took me a couple of hours one morning to just put this entire thing together, which included figuring out how to attach the monitor to the front panel, which just ended up being double-sided tape, and just relocating the feet so I can place the case on its side and have the monitor in the normal landscape orientation. For the rest of the specs, I went with the B650i Aorus Ultra Mini ITX motherboard with the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D CPU, 32 gigs of RAM from Crucial, which is just generic DDR5 4800 MHz memory, very affordable RAM. And for storage, I also went with Crucial and added 2 of their 4TB P3 Plus M.2 drives. And for the graphics card, I had a Gigabyte RTX 3090 Vision OC on hand, still from previous generation. However, for this PC, it's perfect, as everything I play on it is going to be streamed at a 1080p resolution, and most of the specs for this are actually pretty overkill for just 1080p, to be honest, so you don't have to go this crazy if you're looking at doing a similar setup. The build process and all the small mods I did all went pretty smoothly. However, the PC would not boot at all after the build was done. It's actually one of the worst things that can happen, especially in a mini ITX build, where I had to take everything out, troubleshoot it, and then pretty much rebuild the system again. And even after I did that, weird issues were still happening. The motherboard would just not boot inside the case. It was working fine outside, but not inside. So the next day, I thought, oh, let's just get a new motherboard, but I couldn't get one in time, so I just decided to try the normal Cooler Master NR200P, the non-max version. And it's the case I actually ended up sticking with in the end, mainly because I just wasn't keen on rebuilding the system a 4th time once everything was sorted. So yeah, the power supply was relocated from the max version of the case, and I used an air cooler instead. I guess I'm just going to see how the air cooler is going to perform in the end, but obviously the 280mm all-in-one would have been the better solution. However, in this case, the motherboard was booting and I was able to install Windows and load up all the drivers and everything, but afterwards still random resets and crashes would happen. So I did replace the motherboard in the end, and after that rebuild the PC a 3rd time, and now here we are. It's finally ready. It sits nicely inside this IKEA cabinet with plenty of storage room for all of my handhelds as well. The back of the cabinet where the PC lives has been left open, so it's quite a bit of air can come in through there, and I went with this sliding door style cabinet specifically so I can also leave the door open for further airflow. But I'm just going to see how it goes in the summer, and then I may even add some extra exhaust fans or something like that. but it's winter now, so the temperatures are very happy. In the end, the PC and the game streaming setup work very well, and I can easily stream to my favorite handhelds. I mostly use Steam Link, as the majority of games I play are on Steam, and it's pretty seamless to connect and just start playing. But also for anything else, I use Moonlight, which works excellent, and you can even stream emulation this way. So basically with the 3090, a great in-home Wi-Fi solution, and also the Ethernet cable that I ran underneath the house to reach inside the cabinet, they all make for a great game streaming performance with no latency, and the image quality to me at home when I'm playing on them, they just feel like running native on these devices. All of the PC gaming friends that I have come over and get them to try it, they all say the same thing. It just feels like you're natively playing on these devices. So if you've never tried game streaming before, then yeah, definitely recommend it if you're into these things. So I actually played the entire Hogwarts Legacy on game streaming via my Steam Deck, all maxed out settings, RTX on, and it was a great experience with no issues. All using Steam Link, and it ran at 60 FPS locked the whole time. Same with Resident Evil 4, the remake, and a lot of other games that I've been playing just via game streaming pretty much this entire year. And for the Steam Deck and other 16:10 aspect ratio devices, you can even set up a custom resolution so that you can stream at the 16:10 aspect ratio and avoid black bars popping up on the top and bottom of your stream. So for that, I use a 1728 by 1080 resolution, and I just set that up via the NVIDIA control panel. As you can see, it displays full screen on the Steam Deck here, playing God of War over game stream. And as a bonus, I can also turn it on and off from my phone using the Silverstone ESO3 Wi-Fi power switch. So if things always run smoothly, I don't even have to go and touch the PC. Once it's all set up, I can turn it on and off remotely and just tap into it from my favorite handhelds and just play all these games. So I'm really keen to see how this PC will perform in the long run, and if it was actually worth building, depending on how much use I'll get out of it as a small PC inside a cabinet purely for game streaming. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more, and if you want more content like this or certain tutorials about my setup, please let me know down in the comments and I'll try and make more videos. For now, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.